لن نخضع لن نركع لن نخضع لن نركع لن نخضع لن نركع لا للذل لا للهوى لا تبالي يا غزة وتحلي بالعزة وتحدي كل حصار لا تبالي يا غزة وتحلي بالعزة وتحدي كل حصار
My husband and I lost our jobs. Mariam's first birthday came during that war, and her second birthday will be in December. I never imagined that I wouldn't be able to protect her from the cold of the tent and from the hunger that was enforced upon us.
With the constant fear that the flames of occupation might reach us at any moment, we were displaced more than once, fleeing death. God only knows how many more times we'll be displaced.
I used to dream of living in peace, but now my dream is simply to survive.
Today, if the world continues to be deaf, blind and mute, our words that have reached you today will not exist tomorrow.
I do not want my family and me to become a number that everyone will forget in a second. We are souls with dreams and hopes and wishes, and we deserve to live. This is my message to you, world.
In my career that I had wished for, but I still haven't woken up from a nightmare that has lasted over a year. I lost everything. It started with the bombing of our house, the martyrdom of my father-in-law and my brother-in-law, and my husband was critically injured, losing his memory for a month. His condition was dire. I'd hardly recovered from this nightmare, only to lose my sister, my soulmate, her husband, and all their children.
I tried to resist all this pain. The people closest to me and my home are gone, and I must be strong to bear this responsibility. I have 2 children, my husband is injured, and I have to fight this brutal world.
We were besieged 4 times, and we escaped each time by a miracle. The last time they bombed our house, we were still inside it. They pulled me out, and I had to walk south with my 2 children whilst they took away my injured husband. That moment was the worst of my life. I collapsed. I had to get up to protect my children. I hugged them, and then I had to walk through a sea of tanks and soldiers. Not one of them had an ounce of mercy. And when we had crossed half the distance, they dropped white phosphorus on us. We nearly suffocated. I held my children and I ran with them to protect them.
We reached the south.
Mahmoud, Balawi, 19th of November, 2024.
To all the free people of the world, to all the humans of the world.
Enough with the injustice, enough with the death, enough with the silence.
My message is for anyone who carries even the smallest part of humanity in their heart. I know you hear about Gaza, but I want you to understand that the situation is beyond words.
This war against us is not just about bombing, it's not just about blood.
The war against us is genocide. It's a merciless war that kills every one of us and doesn't differentiate between anyone.
I have survived several bombing attempts. Our house was bombed, we moved to another house. That house was bombed too, and now we live in a tent.
Can you imagine how one can live under the threat of death 24 hours a day?
We can't take it anymore. We are exhausted.
We demand that every person who carries even a small part of humanity in their heart stop this war, stop this bloodshed that's pouring. Stop killing us.
We are human beings. We want to live just like the rest of the world, just like you.
We are not just numbers on the news.
We are not just images on the screens. We are human beings.
We are families, we are children, and we are mothers.
We live in an endless hell.
For us, war is a black shadow that never leaves us.
It destroys everything. It takes from us everything precious. Every moment of our lives is now in danger.
We don't just live under bombing, we live under siege.
With constant, painful memories of cousins, friends, families, relatives, everyone who's been wounded and martyred.
We're in the final stages.
We are gasping for breath before they finally exterminate us.
I hope my message reaches you and that you come to our aid.
11th of November, 2024. The fate of the Gazan is exhaustion and suffering, living out long days of hardship. Despite it all, we tried to craft the semblance of a normal day, hoping for a peaceful moment at the end, only to have it shattered by a brutal war that made no distinction between stone and human. In mid-October 2023, most Gazans left their homes, heading towards areas labelled as safe zones by the occupation army.
My family and I, along with my uncles and aunts, went to Khan Yunis in the southern part of the Gaza Strip, gambling with our lives amid airstrikes, the advance of military vehicles, the roar of planes, and even the bombing of shelters.
We had no means of survival, merely seeking safety. In those early days, we kept telling ourselves,
Tomorrow we'll return.
when we needed something essential, clothes, food, bedding, we'd say,
The house is full of these things. Tomorrow we'll go back.
but between fear, insecurity and cold, we spent long nights, nearly 2 months, sleeping on the ground, using blankets as makeshift mattresses, thinking that this was only temporary.
More than 100 members of my own family shared the same harsh reality. We'd wake up in the morning, we'd light fires, cook food darkened with soot, and bake in clay ovens. The first time I got to sleep on a foam mattress, it felt like I'd only truly discovered sleep that day. But I forgot what peace and quiet felt like, and had no private moments to grieve all that we'd lost.
No one feels anything. That was the last line I said in my monologue back in 2010. I used to believe that hearts could soften or that people could care, but the present reality was enough to expose the ugly truth of a cowardly world, full of lies, hypocrisy and pretense. I wish I could write something beautiful, beautiful words after the suffering my country has endured from oppression, racism and persecution. Our lives are filled with black days, migration, catastrophe, setbacks, starvation. We don't have the right to live a single moment to feel that in this world there are rights for the young, for the youth, for people who walk on this earth, regardless of who they are.
Feel sad when there's an earthquake, flood, hurricane, or even a tsunami in any country around the world. But in this cursed war, I stopped accepting myself. I regretted everything positive I contributed to life because my life, it betrayed me with all its power and violence. What's the use of a calm life I was living compared to all the noise and psychological destruction I'm going through now, along with my family?
Hunger. A tent means you and 10 others try to sleep in a cramped space. half of you inside, half of you outside, like the remnants of life on the edge of nothingness.
You wake up with the morning sun that scorches you with its heat, or with flies biting your body. At night, the cold stings you and makes you forget the warmth of life.
And in a tent, there are no secrets. Everyone is exposed to everyone else and everything, and families here have no choice but to share as if we were one family.
Every morning starts the same, with a new struggle for survival, to find bread and a little water. We don't know rest here. We have become like an entire people sharing one bitter dream. Every day a new story, a new loss, new longing and pain.
This is a whirlwind, taking us between places and circumstances, and every place brings with it a new shock, to the point that we can no longer comprehend it.
Yes, every day we live with a new hope, but it vanishes like a mirage. We have become like near-naked bodies, empty stomachs, tired minds, and wounded hearts.
So time passes, hope dies, and we are left alone.
Palestinians are destined to suffer, to roam and to die. No one is saved, not the weakest or the strongest of us, nor the most villain or the prophet. 400 days have passed. I've seen in them children wishing to die from what they're experiencing. When every time I hear a child wishing to die from what they're experiencing, part of me dies. I'm also seeing children clinging for life, and a lot of bodies with a little life. It seems that the world doesn't want to open its eyes to what's happening to us. It's choosing to be blind so it doesn't feel guilty, ignorance being better than truth. But there are those who listen and read these words and hear them. You are our last hope.
Peace and tranquility. I married Tarek, and after 4 years we were blessed with a daughter as beautiful as the moon. And we named her Mariam. And together we agreed to provide her with a positive, healthy upbringing.
Suddenly everything changed. The war turned our warm home into a small tent pitched on sand, surrounded by hunger, fear and cold in every direction. We became displaced.
My husband and I lost our jobs. Mariam's first birthday came during the war, and her second birthday will be in December. I never imagined that I wouldn't be able to protect her from the cold of the tent or from the hunger that was imposed upon us.
I don't know where I am, or even who I am. I feel like I'm in a whirlpool, spinning me around and around, and I'm completely surrendered to it. Sweet things mixed with painful things, moments that make me cry, and others that make me lose myself. Oh God, where was I? And who have I become? Why? How? And for whose sake is all this happening?
I live with my child in a tent after the war destroyed our home and our dreams. I write these words from the heart of suffering and pain while the sounds of bombardment and destruction surround us. I see in my child's eyes questions I have no answers for, fear that knows no sense of security, and hope struggling to survive. Gaza's not just a place, it's our homeland that we love, and we dream of seeing it live in peace and safety. I address this message to all who can hear my voice, to those with compassionate hearts and living consciences, to move to help save us and put an end to this suffering. We are human and we have the right to live with dignity, to be safe, and to give our children the childhood that they deserve. I ask you to carry my voice and the voice of everyone from Gaza, to support the efforts for peace, to bring back hope to a land that's tired of sorrow. We are here in the heart of pain, believing that humanity and justice are stronger than any war. Please, save Gaza, save our children, and save our future.
Ali Abu Yassin, the 8th of November 2024. I believe that my oud was the only musical instrument in the whole of the beach refugee camp, and I was 13 years old. Whenever I wanted to take my oud outside the house, I'd carefully wrap it in a blanket, one we received from UNRWA as part of the winter aid, which included clothes and the blankets, but it felt like I was hiding a corpse.
I bought the oud by working on our land in the occupied countryside when I was just 13, saving up for it. I remember it cost 200 Jordanian dinars back then. Of course, I first started working at the age of 10.
When the war broke out on the 7th of October 2023, we fled from the beach camp to Deir al-Balah. We took with us just a change of clothes, thinking we'd stay for a couple of days, a week at most, and then return. That's why I left my precious oud on top of the wardrobe, and I placed a pile of clothes underneath it, so it wouldn't get damaged by the vibrations from the bombing. I made sure it was secure when we left the house.
My oud was the last thing I saw in the house before leaving. I never imagined, and nor did anyone who fled Gaza to the south, that the war would last this long. Now it's been 400 days, 13 months in exile. I can't stand being away from my oud.
For the first time in all this time, I haven't played or sung. 400 days. And I spent most of them crying for the loss of my family, friends, neighbours, children, the scenes of people in the street.
Everything about war drives you to tears. No, it drives you mad.
I've often seen people wandering aimlessly, losing their minds, going mad.
Well, the truth is, I no longer know who is more mad, us or the world, watching what's happening and staying silent, not rising up as an entire country is being wiped out.
But look, I don't want to talk just about the war and our condition. I want my oud and my voice back so I can sing. I often dream that I'm playing it, and I wake up and I find my fingers moving up and down the strings of my oud. Oh, give me back my oud and give me back my voice.
Oh, another tragedy is for the last 35 years I haven't left the stage, whether as actor, director, writer or trainer. I've never stopped working in theatre. All these years I work continuously. How is it possible in 400 days I have performed once? I haven't stood on a stage.
The theatre is my second home. I've spent more time there than I do at home with my family. Bring me back to the stage. I know Israel has bombed and destroyed all the theatres, but stop the war and we'll perform in the streets.
But we don't need a stage, or sound, or lights, or decoration. Just me, the audience, and the street.
Well, I know the occupation has destroyed the streets as well, but we won't be defeated. We'll find a rooftop, one that was swept by the wind and hasn't exploded, and we'll climb to the top and perform while people watch from all around the ruins.
In this performance, my oud will accompany me as a substitute for music and all the other necessary elements. It's a great idea, don't you think?
Yes. If the war ends and I'm still alive, I'll do that. That's if I can find my oud in its place on top of the wardrobe.
And if I find the wardrobe tall, because the top floor of my house has been destroyed. This is what I saw in the video my friend Amjad sent me. My son's apartment, which he had been preparing ready to marry in and then to live in.
Somewhere or other.
Oh my goodness, it was completely destroyed.
But back to the subject. I'm sure this show will attract the press. Theatre, destruction, and an audience made up of children, women, youth, and elders. A beautiful cocktail. What a sight!
Yes. And the audience can sit however they like, or they can stay standing.
Yeah.
They have a lot of options for sitting. There's a broken column, a destroyed child's bed, a warped cooking pot, and a broken tree stump.
But the important thing is to stop this war and take me back to my home. I've never been away from my home for more than 3 months and I can't stand it.
Take me back to my library, to my world, to my theatre, to my ood, to my audience.
I miss them, and I miss myself.
And it's been 400 days of being lost.
Take me back to where I belong.
I've forgotten who I am.
Will this war ever end?
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 Yumma, 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 yumma. Yumma, 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 yumma. يما هدوا دارنا دار اخويا وجارنا يما هدوا دارنا ودار اخويا وجارنا لا تزعلي يا ميمتي زادت لينا حجارنا احنا فلسطيني احنا مو ارهابي احنا فلسطيني احنا مو ارهابي احنا اصحاب الحق يما وبدنا نرجع دارنا يما هدوا دارنا دار اخويا وجارنا يما هدوا دارنا ودار اخويا وجارنا لا تزعلي يا ميمتي زادت لينا حجارنا